All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is January 30th, 2025. My name is John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Hey, look at this. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride right there. What was that? Like a $4.50 drop with a $3.50 recovery. I don't know. That was crazy. Dipped down. Somebody must have released earnings. Don't know what happened. I'll find out afterwards. Bottom line was they made a higher low. All right, go figure. So after I saw the higher low, I'm like, I'm buying this. All right, so they came all the way back to, I guess this would be yesterday's close right here. They came back to yesterday's close. So for price action today, what did we have? Well, we opened up, all right? We gapped up. We opened up. We spiked up into, there's a void up here where it's an open gap. And we spiked up into there. And then we pulled back to yesterday's close. Then we double doji down here at yesterday's close, back to VWAP, made a higher low, and from there it was just a bully situation all the way up to over the high of day. All right, and then from there we had the Mr. Toad's Wild Ride right through here on SPY. So we traded the bullish uptrend right through here up into VWAP. Okay, after hitting yesterday's closing filling the gap. Then with the higher low, we got this thing called the VZO. And with the VZO, we saw candles up over the yellow line right through here. And we like to buy those, and we got into this 10-minute uptrend coming all the way up to here and just hung on to it. Actually just traded it. Then we got that bullish consolidation right here at a prior high, and they were holding up there. You know, after 2 or 3 or 4 candles, they usually flush it down, but they were hanging on for like 6, 7 candles. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 5, 6, 7. There's 8, and then you start seeing it flush up to the upside. So it didn't quite fill the open gap, but still a little bit more to go. But anyways, they got close, and there was some profit taking just before the open gap. You can see price already back at near high of day. So nice recovery there. So we just traded the SPY game plan, made some money with that. It was a good day for us. Let's take a look at SPY on the 10-minute. We got a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. Not sure how significant that is. That was a huge shakeout right there on the 10-minute. On the 2-hour, we have a 2-hour uptrend going into the close. All right, 2-hour uptrend. Notice the 3 is on top of the 8 right here. So price candles, nothing but tails down here. I got to tell you, I think with all those tails we had today and these tails here from yesterday, I think we're making a new all-time high by next week. If we don't do it tomorrow, I'm kind of sure we're probably going to do something next week. All right, so it's looking real good for a new all-time high. Look at all the tail action down here. Those are buyers. Anytime you see price come down and buyers buy it right back up, those are buyers. And buyers are just like stepping in every time price dips. This is nice. So we're looking for nice recovery back up to the all-time highs on SPY. So 2-hour uptrend, 10-minute downtrend, but that's a kind of a flaky downtrend there. Not so sure if I trust that. I think we gap up tomorrow. Anyways, let's take a look at it on the daily chart. All right, on the daily chart, higher low, higher high, closing over the gap, over the 17 EMA, over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP, because this is the new all-time high. So we'll put one on here, over the all-time high anchored, prior all-time high anchored VWAP, over the downtrend line right through here. All right, so SPY in a daily uptrend, making a higher high here, and just made a higher low. All right, pressure on the bulls to make a higher high. Daily's up in quadrant 4. You can see right here, leaning, getting ready to make a pounce and attack on that all-time high up there. Really looking good on SPY here for the daily chart. Weekly charts in an uptrend, 2-day chart, 3-day, monthly, semi-annual, annual, whatever you want to call it. They're all in uptrends. 2-hour chart, 3-bar chart, 4-hour chart, everything looking good. What else did we trade today? Costco. Costco, one of our members, Malcolm, posted the MMRP on Costco. All right, so here's the igniting bar. Here's the price action coming down. See the lower highs? Price action coming down, and then we get a rip right through. So we reverse directions, rip right through, resistance, and find support on top of resistance. And then we got price action came up here today. So we bought calls at the open. Well, I did. And then I also traded some throughout the day on the pullback to VWAP. So there's Costco ripping up there. I think I made like $600 in the first 9 minutes just trading Costco. That was nice. Nice trade there. Got some sellers up here, obviously. You can see the tails. So I like to see price get back up there. Challenge those sellers. We'll see what happens. All right. But anyways, this MMRP has, let's see, you got higher, two candles, higher low, higher high. This might be broken. We'll see what happens. Did not plan on that. Unless this candle finishes out tomorrow, I think we make a higher high. We'll see what happens. So there's Costco on the 4-hour chart. We'll go back to the daily chart. Let's take a look at QQQ. QQQ, higher low, higher high, closing over the trap, all right? Over a bearish cross, over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Still haven't filled that gap. All right, still struggling to fill that gap. Still looking good, though. Up here in quadrant 4, that's a nice look. Almost showing an inverted head and shoulders. Left shoulder would be these two peaks here. Head would be this deep valley down here in the middle, almost to the midpoint. And then we got a right shoulder right here on the right side of the head. So another valley right there. So showing an inverted head and shoulders. Maybe we can get the right arm to extend up where the left arm left off and higher. There's QQQ. Let's take a look at FNGU. FNGU, lower high, lower low, closing underneath bearish cross underneath the 17, but over the downtrend line and over the uptrend line and up in quadrant 4. That's still bullish up there. That's a bull flag. If you go take this flagpole from here and run it up and then over to the right, kind of a sloppy flag, but nonetheless, consolidating up here in quadrant 4, that's bullish. So there's FNGU on the daily chart. Still bullish, still in an uptrend. All right, let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow ever so close to taking out the all-time highs. Price action, higher low, higher high. Closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA, over the all-time high anchored VWAP there. Up in quadrant 4, just ready to lean on those top wicks up there. So looking ready to pounce. Nice move up, consolidate over to the right. That's bullish. That's real bullish. Price action up in quadrant 4, bullish. Over the all-time high anchored VWAP, that's bullish. Over the trap, that's bullish. Over the 17, again, more bullishness. Diamond Dow looking good. Let's take a look at IWM. IWM's in an uptrend, but not really moving up. All right, so IWM today, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the flat 17, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, not in the upper third, but on the bullish side of neutrality. You can see IWM went up and then gave it up. All right, so that's just neutral. Whenever they go up, give it up. If they go up, give it up and more, that's bearish. So we'll see what happens here with IWM. All right, so we did IWM, we did Diamond Dow, we did QQQ, we did SPY, we did FNGU. Let's go take a look at our technicals. All right, technicals. So we ripped up out of the buyer's chop zone from yesterday, found ourselves in the buy zone and knocking on the door of the overbought zone once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. All right. I gotta say, it's evident they want to go higher. This is huge. See that bull flag up there? That's huge. That's bullish environment for tomorrow. Look for next week. I think next week we hit some new highs in some of these indexes. We're already hitting them in some of the sectors. T2122 leaving a nice bullish flag up there with a higher low. Love that. T2123. All right. So almost green from the beginning of the day to the end of the day until we had that Mr. Toad's ride. Got 2 red candles here. Nonetheless, they moved up. Notice they gapped up. All right. Anytime you see gap up and the bears don't fill it, that's bullish. All right. So you got to mark a point up for the bulls. All right. Moving up and holding the higher ground, that's bullish. Up over a rising 200, also bullish. Okay. Moving all the way up here. All right. Looking real good. T2123 up over this prior all-time high. So there's a prior all-time high. There's another prior all-time high. We're way up here. We're almost over all of this consolidation. We're at the point now where we're consolidating over prior consolidation. Traders, that's bullish. All right. T2123. Let's hit the 3-bar chart. Notice the 3-bar chart closing in on that space with that falling 200 on the 3-bar chart. Nice V bottom going on here, okay? So notice how we go red, and then we hit the V bottom, then we go green, and this is just holding up. I figured after 1 or 2 days we'd get some choppiness in here. No, they just keep going. They're kind of making an inverse head and shoulders, if you ask me. That would be the left shoulder, and I don't know where they're going to put the shoulder in on the right side. Maybe if they rest sometime, we'll see where it is. And we can see the right arm extend up where the left arm left off, which is the all-time highs. There's T2123. All right, FNGU for today, all right, with Mr. Toad's wild ride. All right, so selling from the beginning of the day almost to the end of the day. Got a couple of candles here up over VWAP near the end of the day. Got a little rally off this. That's an all-time high anchored VWAP right here. Nonetheless, closing over this uptrend line, closing over this downtrend line, struggling to make those higher highs. All right, but we had a wave down and then back up. Now we got another wave down, looking for that wave up back on top of that 200. Notice price got up underneath this flat 200, not a good sign. No gapping going on except for right here. That's a bearish gap. Notice the bulls couldn't fill that gap. So bearishness, consolidate. What do you get? You got a move down and a hockey stick over to the right. Well, look for another move down and a hockey stick over to the right. Are they going to do the same thing tomorrow? Well, we'll see. Maybe they can get on top of all of this. We'll see what happens. There's FNGU. We need these guys to perform for SPY and QQQ to really get going. All right, we had some big market earnings that came out yesterday. I think it was Meta, Microsoft, somebody else. Meta, Microsoft, and somebody else. We'll take a look at those real quick here. Okay, so here's Meta. All right, Meta went up. All right, it's a red candle, but it did go up. Okay, nice gap up. Well, Little gap up there. So Meta's going up. MSFT, Microsoft. Now Microsoft went down. So everything Meta did, Microsoft erased it. Then we got one more. I forget who the big boy was that also Tesla. Tesla did what? Tesla really didn't do anything. Just stayed and conformed with its current pattern. I got to tell you, Tesla is showing a bearish wedge. Really, right now. See that? We're kind of showing a bearish wedge here on Tesla. Well, we'll see if they can break this downtrend line. They were up there today, couldn't quite get through. All right, notice they're closing underneath this falling 17 and inside the bearish trap. So not looking good for Tesla on this bearish flag. It's a bull flag, but let me tell you, it's a bearish wedge. All right, bearish pennant if you want to ask me. All right, let's go take a look at energy sector. Start off with XLE. All right, XLE is in a downtrend, okay, even with these 20 days up. It's in a downtrend because they came up here. They didn't break any lower highs here or any highs on this area right here. So they didn't break any of the highs. We didn't. If they got up over this, all right, they'd have an uptrend. That's a tall task, you know. That's a big order, you know, to take out those wicks. You got a triple wick up there, almost a triple crown of wicks. And you can see that came tumbling down hard. Anyways, there's XLE. Nice recovery, though. Bounced back up to the upper third, even quadrant 4. Price action for today. Let's look at it. Higher low, higher high, closing in a bearish trap underneath the 17. Okay, XLE still under the downtrend line, under this downtrend line, and on the bullish side of neutrality. Notice price action went up and then they gave it up. That's neutral, all right? Again, they went up and they're giving most of it up right here. Hopefully they can put a nice little higher low here. Looks like they're trying, all right? And then J-hook back up and maybe challenge one of these downtrend lines. Any one of them would be fine with me, preferably up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Price action closing underneath that all-time high anchored VWAP, as well as underneath these downtrend lines. So energy not quite ready yet, but it's looking ready to pounce. All right, it's a nice little pullback. It's a little long in the tooth, if you ask me. I like to see a 2, a 3, or a 5 day pullback. This is call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 day pullback. You know, maybe they can get going. Got to see them on the other side of this 17, all right, and on the other side of that all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, so back at the midpoint, just kind of neutral, but on the bullish side of neutrality. Let's take a look at UNG. Lower high, lower low. UNG is in the buy box, by the way. All the way down to this peak between the two valleys right here, okay? All the way down to there. UNG, high, lower low, closing under the bearish trap under the 17 EMA. If UNG takes out this low right here, they'll be in a downtrend, all right? I just see them getting closer and closer day by day. All right, just saying, if they get below that low, that's a downtrend. All right, because here's a peak up and then back. So they get below that, that's a downtrend. Right now, they're in an uptrend, but they're not moving up, all right? They're not moving up and holding the higher ground. See how they're going up and giving it up and going up and giving it up, all right? So that's just neutral, all right? For UNG, on the bearish side of neutrality here, okay? I don't know where the all-time high, we're not even going to do all-time highs for UNG. If you want to do one, we'll start with this one right there. And you can see they're on the bullish side of that. But let me just say, they were in this bear flag hockey stick for, I don't know, 10 months, 9 months down here, banging away at making new lows. So I'm not impressed with this. They got to get back up here in quadrant 4. All right, they got to get up in quadrant 4 or at least the upper third. Start holding the higher ground. Do something right. All right, just making a high and giving it up is nice, but it's not good enough. I want to see some holding of the higher ground. All right, make a higher low. All right, right. Maybe they make a higher low here. Okay, and then find their way back up here and consolidate. All right, UNG on the daily chart, still in an uptrend. Dangerously close to converting that uptrend into a downtrend. Remember, it's just a label, all right? So on the bearish side of neutrality, but over this is not an all-time high anchored VWAP. This is just a 12-month high anchored VWAP. That's all it is, all right? This is nothing special, all right? So beating this is not something to jump up and down about, all right? Notice they're right back into that peak between the two valleys, and they're not bouncing. See that? They're right in here. This would be the place to bounce. They're not bouncing yet. Maybe next week they bounce. We'll see. All right, so there's UNGs. Take a look at USO. All right, USO price action. Higher low, higher high, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17 EMA, not in the upper third, moving up, giving it up, okay, on the bullish side of neutrality, but, moving up, giving it up. Again, we want to see these hold, all right? This is nice. We can play with this, and we can trade this. This is nice, but we'd like to see something hold where we can have something that lasts longer than a week trade. Okay, USO. Anyways, there you go. Up over the all-time high anchored VWAP set in 2022 after COVID. COVID highs made in 2021. This was the UNG high made in 2022. On the midpoint here, again, we're not in the upper third. All right, we're just on the bullish side of neutrality. They keep going up and giving it up. All right, but nice. They took out this peak and this peak and this peak. All right, that's great. But now they're giving it all up again. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's take a look at XLI. All right, XLI is in a downtrend, even though they're up here in the bullish side. Remember, it's just a label. All right, so XLI is in a downtrend. Technically, if they make a higher low and take out this high, they'll have an uptrend. If they would have taken out this high, they could have had an uptrend. Right now, price action for today, nice candle. Outside day, that's a higher high and a lower low, closing over a bullish cross. Over the 17 EMA, over the all-time high anchored VWAP, up and up quadrant 4, that's bullish up there. Even though they're technically in a downtrend, they're up in quadrant 4, and that's bullish. All right, so there's XLI. Nice bounce, by the way, coming off of the midpoint there. But they did take out this low, and they took out this low. Again, get up there and hold. We want to see some get up and hold. Hold the higher ground. Stop giving it up. All right, so there's XLIs. Take a look at XLU. XLU is in an uptrend, all right? The reason that is there's a high over the 17, and price action managed to make a higher high. So they are in an uptrend. Again, it's just a label. Price action for today, higher low, higher high. Closing over bearish trap over the 17 and over this all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, looking like we got a possible higher low. There'll be pressure on the bulls. Look at this up here. Caterpillar must have announced. Pressure on the bulls to produce a higher high. So we could see XLU. No, Caterpillar's not in XLU. Somebody else, maybe Nextera or somebody. All right, anyways, could see XLU back up here in the upper quadrant or in the upper third soon. We'll see what happens. Maybe by tomorrow, maybe by next week. We'll see. XLU in an uptrend, just neutral on the bullish side of neutrality. Again, moving up, giving it up. All right. Want to see some candles holding. Need to see the bulls buy it and hold it, not buy it and sell it. All right, so there's XLU. XRT, retail sector. Retail sector still in an uptrend. A lot of going up and giving it up again. Okay, a lot of that going on lately. Daily price action, higher low, higher high. Costco did well. Remember I told you about that trade. Higher low, higher high. Closing over the bullish trap, over the 17, up in quadrant 4. That's bullish. Up over the uptrend line and over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Nice look for XRT. Like to see some consolidation. Maybe hold. This was looking really nice. And then they fell out of bed right here. Okay. Like to go back up there and hold this time. We'll see what happens. Okay. So there's XRT in an uptrend and bullish up here in quadrant 4. All right. Let's take a look at IYT. Last one. Hope they give me a good candle today. This looks like it might be usable. Lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Now I just got to go look to see and make sure that this is what it is. All right, so I'm going to go to the 15 because they tend to mess this one up all the time, and that it does look like what it is. All right, so they tend to mess this up quite often. Anyways, on the daily chart, over the uptrend line, that's nice. Again, we're under the all-time high anchored VWAP. We were doing so good here. Maybe a recovery tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Maybe they hit the uptrend line and we get a bounce off of diagonal support. We'll see what happens. Here's IYT in an uptrend, but not moving up the last 3 days. All right. Got a higher low. Got a higher high. Here's a high. They made a higher high. They were looking good up here, closing in quadrant 4. And then they just lost it. All right, so I'm going to turn this on and check it out and see what we got. Tesla. Yeah, thanks, Ron. Thank you. I figured it out. I just scanning my brain while I'm talking. You know, multitasking sometimes. Yep. While I was talking and trying to think about what I was going to say, I'm scanning my brain. Too many things going on at once sometimes. Anyways, hope you all had a good day. I hope that last candle didn't wipe you all out. All right? That was uncalled for, and nobody could have known that was happening. If you don't have a reason for stops, a candle like that is definitely a reason to have a stop. Leo, how to determine USO is not in the upper third per the daily. Let's take a look at it. I just eyeball it, Lee. Thanks for asking, by the way. We closed. I'm going to put where we closed, okay? So we closed right there, okay? And you can see this is 50%. That's 75%. And whatever 33.3 is, okay? So I think it's just a little under, not much. All right? I'm just eyeballing it. But anyways, if you really want to get down to the numbers, you can take this low right here and this high and see what 33% of the price action here, and just take 33% of it. Okay, Lee? I just eyeball it. All right? And you can see the candle came kind of dipping low here. It's close. It's close. It's close, really. But you just take this. You take, you take this and you subtract it from this. And then you take whatever the difference is, which would probably be, well, there's 5, 10, 15, and maybe 4 or 3 there. Maybe 4. All right, so that'd be 19 and divide it by 3. So let's just take 19 divided by 3. And I'm going to get my calculator out. I know it's going to be 6 point something. So 19 divided by 3 equals 6.33 from the high. So the high is 84.58. Okay. 84.58 subtract 6.33. I think that's what it was. Yeah. Equals 78.24. So I got 78.24 and I was ballparking it again, Lee. All right. And it's at 77.98 or 78.04. So just a tad under. All right. Just a tad. All right. Again, I took that last and called it 4 right here. Okay. It's just a tad under. Okay. You can see I had 78.24. All right. And you can see it's at 78.04. Not too much. Just enough to stay out. They'll get back in. I know they're going to bounce soon. They should be bouncing off these peaks pretty soon here. These should hold some price up. There should be some support right here. Of course, you can see it with the wick and, the tail and the tail and a little tail right there. So there's some buyers down there. Not enough. All right, but we got some right there. All right, Lee? All right, so, but it's definitely on the bullish side of neutrality anyways, okay? Even though it didn't make that upper third. Anyways, right now, I'm going to see you guys all tomorrow, 8 o'clock. All right? Hope you all have a good evening. All right? Hope you all had a good day trading. A lot of profits to be made today. That last candle sucked. All right? I hope that didn't blow anybody up. But I'll see you guys all tomorrow at 8 o'clock. All right? Thanks, Jordo. Thanks, Brad. Love it, Brad. Brad made some profits. Hey, anybody else make some profits today? Anybody going home green? Thanks, Scott. Thank you. Anybody else going home green? Yes. Love it. Congrats, Scott. Congrats, Brad. Stefan, are you in here? Did you going home green? Imelda did. Imelda's just rocking it. Oh my gosh, what did she make? 18,000 the other day. Holy smokes! Way to go, Mel. Love it. Love it, Mel. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, anytime I see some good news, I love to hear that. Yeah, hang in for sure. Yeah, okay. I think we're going up higher. I do. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Now, DeepSeek, we had a big fallout due to DeepSeek. I just like to see some of that data confirmed by a credible source. I don't know if the source is credible. I'm sure they're doing something nice, but it's kind of wild that they're that far, 94% more efficient than our stuff. I find that hard to believe. I need to see a credible source and have it tested. Again, if we do all the R&D, okay, it's pretty easy to hit 94 if our country does all the research and development, and then you just pirate what we got, okay? That's pretty easy to do, all right? But not saying it can't be done. Just saying, I just like to see a credible source on that one. Yes, yes. Is using the chips. Okay. Apple misses on phone sales. Thanks, Mondo. Appreciate that. Let's go take a look at Apple. That's not a good sign for tomorrow. Is it? I think it's AAPL, is it? Am I right? AAPL. Got dyslexic fingers here. Well, they're not moving bad. It's dipping. If they break the bull flag, all right, then that's a red flag. Okay? It's a red flag if they break the bull flag. And that's a bull flag right there. You think Intel beats? Intuit and Intel beats? Oh, yeah. Like to see that. Nice work there. All right. Like to see them get up over this. They're in a bear flag. All right. Like to see them make it back to the midpoint. We should trade this tomorrow. Back to the midpoint right up here. 84, 2084. You might be able to, I don't know if you guys night trade or after hours trade. I think you make it back to 2084 tonight. All right, I really do. I think it goes up there. They're showing signs of promise. Here's a higher low, and here's price action up here in this wick right there. I think it goes to 2084 tonight. I hope it climbs on top. They climb on top and hold 2084. That's bullish for tomorrow. We could see this thing come all the way back up to the breakdown candle high right there. There's your breakdown candle high, 2231. So reminder tomorrow, maybe some Intel calls. All right, guys, remind me. Intuit. Hi, what's Intuit's call sign? Do you know, Mel? There it is. They spiked down and recovered. Oh, they're pricey, Mel. They're way too pricey for me. They got to break this downtrend line. Right there. They got to break that downtrend line. Nice little higher lows. Still got to break that downtrend line. Yeah, I do too. Yes. All right, traders. Until tomorrow, everybody have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being here.